This is from the roof.
And we are back live for the 12th annual Clearwater Hooters Nationals, the offshore race by Race World Offshore. Also live here terrestrially in the Bay Area, AM 820 and FM 96.7 Tampa and FM 98.3 Pinellas County. Live coverage of the final race here today, race of three, again, the Hooters Annual Classic here at Clearwater Beach. Todd Swafford, along with John J.W. Powell, Billy Shipley of Team Woody joins us. And we're about set to go. This is our final race. You got the Super Cats, the Mercury 860s, the Factory 450 class at the single boat running, as well as the Mercury 860 alone in that class. But interesting, developments may be coming for those two classes next year. And then our Modified V and Stock V classes are running. There's two different classes, but very close in specs in many ways. The boats will look very close to each other. Two different classes, about 7 boats running. But let's talk to Billy Shipley real quick. We got the orange smoke, which means the pace boat's going to be coming around and picking up our opening boats, the 860 and the Super Cat class. But Billy, you were out in the boat earlier today. Finished up in second place in the bracket too. Of course, finishing behind Wicks Filters. That's, of course, depending on the GPS readings, whether or not all that works out with inspection. How was it out there today?
Man, it was good out there today. Water was good. A little bit rough to start the race. I think we had some spectator traffic still coming in, so it made the south end a little bit bumpy. But it was a good race. It was fast race today. Everybody's full speed in their boats. A bunch of boats on the course with us, a bunch of different speed brackets. They were from 60 to 100 miles an hour. So it was fun. We were in the front for a little bit with Wicks, kind of checked out at 100 miles an hour in our boat, and then it took us about 3 laps to catch up with some traffic, but it was fun.
Day like today in your class of those big Vs, those big fire. I got a little bit of speed on the inside line nearest to the pace boat who pulls off, and Sweetwater on the outside. The Chariots of Fire there, Billy, with the early lead heading down to turn 1 on the south end.
Yeah, that's good. They those guys had an engine blow up in Michigan City, and they came back to St. Pete and ran the boat. And then this is a good start for them here. It's the old Cleveland construction boat, and we all know how successful it was when those guys were running that.
Now MCON coming around them. They'll have to stay in that line in that order as they go around. And Sweetwater to their outside as we pan back for the second start. Now, these are the Modified V and the Stock Vs. These boats are similar in size in terms of the hulls, but they run a little bit different engine packages, Billy.
Yeah, we got the Stock V and Stock 525s, and those boats, they're untouched, sealed motors. And then you got the Modified Vs, they're carbureted, a little bit more horsepower coming out of those boats. You'll see the Mod Vs will get ahead of the Stock Vs here. Boat floater will jump out in the front, and Sunprint and those guys. And it's fun to watch all these run at the same time. These guys are very, very competitive in this class, both classes. Yeah, Lobo in the front, that's good, man. That's Mark Neiman and Shamil in there. Sheriff Lobo, I just call him Lobo. I can't hardly pronounce his name, so it's just Lobo to me.
Yeah, Shamu they call him.
Shamu, yeah.
That's right. Sunprint charges out in front as they head around the south turn. So we're started here, the final race of the day. All boats are out, and our big boys are...
Tight turn here, guys, tight turn. That Sunprint's going to try to come around them. Those guys, Steven, that 51 boat, man, I've said it once, I'll say it 100 times. That's one of my favorite boats to watch out here. Those guys, it's hardcore every single time they run that thing.
You got some real creative guys, certainly in those modified engines. They tweak those engines up pretty good. And here's MCON now. Looks like they have pulled away from Chariots of Fire, now in the lead. And the second boat coming around wide on that turn is the 39 Catamaran in Outer Limits. That's Sweetwater. He's running in a different class, the 860s. But MCON now has come around and taken the lead in Super Cat class. Chariots of Fire will be in second, running back in third, Cradell. As we look north here on the course, a 4.38 mile course, and these boats are running 13 laps here today, 67 miles.
Also, let's welcome back Graydale. They've been out all year, haven't raced. I don't think they raced last year. And it's always good to see Chris Grant and Billy Moore here with us racing.
Yep.
So welcome back, fellas.
As we look along the backside, and our leaders in the Mod V class, as they head out, they're heading north on the back straightaway. Looks like Imcon coming around, and Imcon now, that's a first lap of 102 miles an hour for Imcon as they finish up lap number 1. Take the turn tight. Looks like going to hold the line pretty good there.
Yeah, Myrick's good on that wheel, man. Myrick Coyle in there, and Tyler and him, I know everybody saw the video, or if you didn't, you need to go watch it on their Facebook from the St. Pete race. The communication those guys have in there it's stellar. They're talking about everything, what they're doing, trim, speed, turn, watch this, watch that. You know, it's communicating and everything. It's how you do this, and that's a fast boat. That's the old steel boat they got from AMH. So they're campaigning that thing until their new one's ready up at Skater.
All right, Billy, let's look at the leaders. You got Mod V and you got Stock V here. We had Sunprint in the lead as they came around turn 1. And now they're coming back down south. We'll pan back around over Pier 60. And now back to the north side of the course. And we should have our leaders coming down here in front of our broadcast area. It looks like Miklo's still running pretty good.
Yeah, this is their home water too. You know, they live here, so those guys, they run that boat out here all the time, and you know they're used to all these conditions, even big, small, whichever. But they get a lot of time in that thing.
So
again, those they spun that boat out pretty hard. Earlier in the year in Sarasota, really, really hard spin out, and it's just good to see them in there.
That's Sunprint, number 51.
Yeah, Lobo's looking good. They're in second. They had some problems over in St. Pete. They had to pull out. I think somebody went across the back of their boat and kind of knocked him out of the race. But, Mark and Lobo, I'll just call him, they're doing well.
Yeah,
Boat floater coming along. Those guys, they're local too. Live down in Sarasota. Steve and Steve. There's so many Steves on the course right now. We'll just call everybody Steve, I guess.
And we're looking now again north. Imcon, you can see, continues to lead in the Super Cat class. We have a boat in the middle of the course. But Imcon running real strong. So Sunprint.
Relentless looks like he's maybe having some issue there. He's coming off plane.
He sure is.
He sure is. That's too bad. Maybe they can fix it real quick and get back in the race.
All right, here comes Imcon on lap number 2. Continuing to run at about 104 miles an hour so far today. He's picked up his speed a little bit, got the boat running a little bit better, it appears.
Yeah, they had to figure that course out on that first lap and get them turns down. That water's going to start getting a little bit rowdy right now for those V-hulls. Believe it or not, those cats are fast, but they're big boats, and you would be surprised the wake that comes off the back of those things when you're trying to get around them. And it gets a little bumpy.
Heading out on lap 2 continues to be Imcon, followed by Chariots of Fire. Now the Sweetwater boat, which is running third overall, is actually first in class, is running in class by itself. This is a new spec class. Vinny Diorio getting together with Mercury Racing and putting this boat together with twin 860 spec engines from Mercury Racing.
Let's not forget Simon Prevost in there. He's down from Quebec. He lives up in Canada, and that guy's pulling all the tricks out of his pocket to try to get down here to travel, and so professional boat racer gets him in the United States.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. What a trick that is.
Yeah, it takes him a whole day to get all over the place in those planes. He's got to fly everywhere, and then they drop down. So
now looking again towards turn 1. Big spectator fleet here as usual. One of the biggest fleets of boats you'll find anywhere in racing, and a large crew. So we look at the 450R. That's the MTI 39, the factory class.
And Taylor Sissom and Johnny Tomlinson. Johnny's back in the boat. That's good to see. He's been in and out all year with them. And there's nobody better to learn from probably in the boat for her than Johnny on those throttles. That guy, I think, has raced every single boat there is and probably won world championships in all of them. Yep,
Sunprint there. Finishing up lap number 2, continuing the lead. Now 2 more boats in the Mod Vs. And then the outside here, the right side of your screen, that's Imcon. They really got that boat running well.
Yeah, they're trying to stay outside of that slower traffic so they don't get mixed up in there. And this course is real close to the beach, so it was hard for us in the first race, I know, to get around, especially with the pier sticking out. So you're coming down heading south, and all of a sudden the pier's sticking out, and you're trying to figure out where you're going to go to get into the turn with that traffic in front of you. But we figured it out.
The other two bigger Super Cat and 860 boats trying to move to the inside of the traffic. Imcon went around the outside as he'll finish lap number 3 here.
That MCOM boat runs flawless, man. Tyler, they spend a lot of time on that thing up there at the Ozarks. I think they keep it at Performance Boat Center, and it's always getting some love up there, you know.
So they fell off a little bit, back down to around 102 overall here today.
They're getting mixed up.
Yeah, a lot of boats kind of messed up in there.
It kind of makes it interesting, though. We'd rather race in conditions like this than just be a flat track the entire time. We only get to race one day and one race per day, and so it's good to go out there and have fun. I mean, it was pretty rowdy in our race. There were 17 boats out there, and like I said, it got a little messy with the weight coming off everything.
And the Sheriff Lobo, they had a good start, running in second place now in the modified V class. Mark Neiman and Shamu Muhammad in that extreme hull.
Yeah, Shamu from Trinidad.
Yep.
He comes up here all the time from Trinidad. Love to have him here. Those guys they were at our pits the other night. We had a birthday party for JJ Turk. He drives one of our 5 boat in a surprise birthday party, and they all came down. It's always fun to have them.
Here at the 12th Annual Clearwater Hooters Offshore Nationals, presented by Race World Offshore. Live coverage on the Racebook Facebook page. There's the LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness. And you get kind of snake bit this year, Brett Lidley's team, a little bit.
Yeah, they're trying a lot of things. It's a new boat, and Britt and Kevin, they've been in and out of the boat. They've had Pastrana in the boat, in and out of the boat, so they're kind of jumping around. They're being owners, they're being operators, and you're just having fun,
And boat builders too, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Britt's building the extreme hulls now, and that's one of them he's driving there. I guess that's the Gen 3 hull, the brand new one. And, man, they've been banging it up in that thing. He's fixed it 2 or 3 times this year. Cocoa Beach, they got into each other. Sarasota, I believe they bumped into each other. So, the competition is fierce. You go to the pits, everyone's hanging out with each other, and it's all a bunch of family and friends over there. But as soon as those helmets goes on, it's a battle.
So you have several different classes of boats here all together as they come down the beach in front of the spectators. There's, of course, MCON. Center of the screen, that 388 skater with twin 750 horsepower Sterling engines. Myrick Coyle on the wheel, and Tyler Miller on the sticks. They got the boat running very well.
Yeah, it looks good.
3 laps done out of 13.
That's how J.R. Noble built that boat to run. Light and loose and fast. We're missing WHM. Billy Moff.
Good.
Had to have some work done on himself instead of on his boat this time. So I'm sure he's watching. Billy, if you're watching, man, we miss you. Chad and I put down a couple extra laps for you this morning. So I don't know if that was on purpose or just for you, but
yeah.
Anyway, you get well, man. We'll hopefully, like you said, we'll see you in Key West.
Yeah, we've been following that story on Speed on the Water, and Billy Moff. They talk a lot about boat sponsorships, and Lucas has been around as a sponsor. We just lost Geico, 14 years in boat racing. I can't think of anybody that sponsored a boat longer than Billy Moff. Whether it was a production class boat, I mean, we're going back 30 years.
Yeah,
in
40,
Key West,
I think.
maybe 40.
He's raced every year at Key West since the first race, so
Yeah,
it'll be 40 years this year.
I heard him tell a story. He was holding Don Arenault's bow line, and Don helped him get into his first boat. And he is an icon in powerboat racing and certainly a fixture in Key West. And it was heartwarming to hear that he's feeling better, and he thinks that he's going to be able to bring the team to Key West. That would be something.
Yeah, I think they're coming no matter what. He's talking about racing one day, and if he can, I think it. Yeah, if Moff's not in Key West, there's going to be a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we are live on Race World Offshore Facebook, also here locally in the Tampa Bay area. If you're watching the races live here with us, or in Tampa on AM 820 and FM 96.7 Tampa and FM 98.3 Pinellas. As we get ready to wrap up the season, we had an exciting race in Superstock as CR Racing, X Insurance had a really great day out there, led from start to finish. And then the 2 boats we were really watching, Billy, CMR and Performance Boat Center, Fast Diesel Fuel Systems, finished up second and third. Now that puts in the overall national points lead, that throws CMR right up in front unofficially.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's a close points race in several of these classes this year. That Class 500 going into today, we were only 28 points ahead of Shoreline, and we had a GPS issue today. Our iPad got washed down, and so JJ and Michael had to pull back and just kind of run the RPM and keep it under the speed. But since they beat us today, and I think we got third, it's going to be even closer than 28 going into Fort Myers. So it's going to be fun.
It'll all come down to Fort Myers, which will be the final race of the APBA National Series. And that'll be October 7th through the 9th, the Roar Offshore, OPA wrapping up racing. And then it's off to the World Championships. Our Race World Offshore having theirs in Key West, November 7th through the 14th. You can go to Race World Offshore for more information. And then Inglewood, Florida for OPA World Championship Racing, November 18th through the 21st. Find out more information at oparacing.org. So right now, Supercat Racing and Mercury 860, Factory 450, and the modified V's and the modified stock boats still out here running. Conditions were very flat out there today. Not too much bump. You had some bump in your bracket class racing just because all the V bottoms out there, 16 to start.
Yeah, it was bumpy. It was bumpy on the backside on the north end and then coming down the straight down the beach. It wasn't too bad. Seemed like it was bumpier down here by the pier. I think it's because the water's more shallow down here and it just stays longer. And the turns are so tight, so when you're turning all those boats, that wake turns with you too, and you get caught in that kind of stuff. But it gets bumpy. Even in a big, faster boat, you still get knocked around there a little bit.
Checking the stock V class, we still have Sunprint. It looked like they were running pretty well early. MCon in Supercat class, having a good day out there. Chariots of Fire running in second. I haven't seen the Graydell boat come around on the last couple of laps.
Who do we got running out front in the stock V class?
There's still trying to sort that out, Billy.
They're getting mixed up out there. It's hard to tell on these TVs who's who. And
yep, MCon coming down in front of the spectator group, and the other big catamarans behind him.
Man,
that's Chariots of Fire and Sweetwater.
They are not giving that buoy a break down there on that north end, man. Vinny's all over that thing. It's Simon driving, but Vinny puts him into it, and Simon tells him sometimes, Vinny, you got to back off on that turn. And his Canadian voice, it's Quebec. I can hardly understand him. I love that guy to death. But he'll tell Vinny you're too fast, and Vinny's like, it's not my problem anymore. You're in the turn. Make it happen. So
we just had MCon come through on their fifth lap of the day. 13 here running in the Supercat class. I think that's 6 laps completed. SV Offshore and Chariots of Fire wrapping up another lap. So Chariots of Fire running in second behind MCon. Getting a good shot of Sunprint there. Yep. They're your leader.
That's an extreme hole, too. That's the Gen 1 boat to the extreme that Lily has. And then Britt owns the Gen 2. So there's 3 different extreme holes running. They all seem like they run well. They're all fast, I know that.
Some of these are older boats for sure. But it's been around a long time. You mentioned like Miklos and Kildall. They've been racing a long time.
I think Kildall's done Sarasota 37, 38 times in a row there.
That's every year.
Every time.
They've ever had that race.
Yeah, and somebody asked him, when are you going to quit racing? He said, I guess when I feel like it. He said, I feel like racing right now, so I'm not going to get out of this thing. So,
looking at Chariots of Fire and now Sweetwater. That's a beautiful 39 outer limits.
That boat looks good. It looks like it's back. They flipped that thing at Cocoa Beach and had to do a complete rebuild on it. Both engines went to Mercury. The boat went to outer limits. Sweetwater did all the rigging on it, and they finally got it back together and brought it back out. And it looks like they've got it dialed in finally. They've been spending a lot of seat time in there. There goes 51 across the start finish.
Again, they've just finished the halfway point of this race. the Mod Vs and the Stock Vs running 10 laps here today. Sheriff Lobo, they've got it running real well.
Man, looks good. It's good to see them up front, man. They spent a lot of time on that boat. He's got. I looked at his. Like every time I see a hatch open, I have to stick my head in there to see what everybody else is doing, so we can maybe learn some tricks. But his fuel systems is a double pump fuel system in that thing, and it's all on a board. He can pull it out. It's so cool how he has that boat rigged up. So if one of them fails, he just hits a switch inside the boat, and the other pump kicks on, and he's good to go.
Here comes Chariots of Fire again and Sweetwater.
There's LSB, Hurricane of Awesomeness, Britt
Boy.
Lilly, and Kevin Smith in there.
Not only does he put together build a nice boat, but he paints a nice boat.
Man, those guys are awesome. You know that Kevin Smith, I don't think I've ever seen that guy. I bet he smiles when he's mad. He does never, every time you see him, that guy's face is just a grin. I love it. I just go around him when I'm feeling upset sometimes just to feel better about myself.
Getting a good look at the 39 MTIs, the spec class. They're open to build on this for next year. That's a popular boat with poker runners. Why not try and develop them in offshore racing? Sweetwater, he really does have that boat running well.
Yeah, it's airing it out. He's loosened it up some. This is good water to do that testing in like that. Let's see this turn. Look how tight he takes his turn. That's a big boat to take that turn that fast. They're pulling some G's in there right now. He's trying to catch up to Chariots of Fire, and he might do it.
Chariots of Fire, they're looking good. That 388 Skater, you talked about it before. It's a great boat. It's a fast boat. The MCON boat is the same. As you mentioned, J.R. Noble, rest in peace, built that boat as the Steel offshore racing team.
Yep.
And Aaron Hope campaigned it over a year and a half and ran it very successfully in AMH construction.
Yeah, and Kenny Mungle in Texas has his old boat, the first steel boat, and he's ran that a few times this year. Kenny's had some back issues, and I think that Doug Jansen's maybe getting that worked out, as rumor. Here's it, and hopefully we'll see that boat back in the water too, because the Super Cat class it's a big class, and there's the Firm. That thing's looking good. That's an activator built up there in Connecticut. Beautiful boat. It was the Phase 5 boat. It was yellow before. Chad and I actually were talking about buying that boat when it was for sale, and Jay was running it. Jay Mueller, was in that boat a couple years ago, and it just didn't work out. Got sold to someone else, so we bought the Fountain.
Here's MCON, the 388 Skater. Tyler Miller moved around in boats a little bit, bought an old WHM boat, a 40, then built a 438 Skater.
Whoa. He almost went over right there.
That was the Firm.
The Firm, yeah. Watch it. That corner will hook you with those waves in there like that. See how curved that rooster tail is, or that wash, and you'll get in the side of one of those boats in front of you, and it'll pull you over. That was real close right there. That was real close to going over.
He was lucky to get out of that.
Absolutely. Good job in there, guys.
MTI, there's MCON. So back to the 438, just didn't work out for them, and they leased this 388, and they're working on another 388 that they hope to campaign next year.
Yeah, they got one in the mold up there.
With Skater. And
Tyler loves those skaters.
He does.
They've got a skater outboard they just got too. They've been running around Lake of the Ozarks and just did the dam challenge, or what I guess what that challenge is called up there. Went from the dam to dam, and I think they had a lower unit problem, and it threw them off time. But it was really close to beating. Tyson Garvin did it before, and so they ran in the boat together. Actually, Tyson was in the boat with Tyler for a couple of years, so he's trying to beat that record there.
Chariots of Fire, the Kildall boat, boatfloater.com, in Sweetwater. There we see Sheriff Lobo.
They're sponsored by Palm Pavilion, also Boat Floater. They've been sponsored by Palm Pavilion for a while, so we'll throw it out there. I'd like to go ahead, and we had a sponsor here too, the Jiffy Lube, and then Sunworks came out and sponsored. So Jiffy Lube, the same guy owns Jiffy Lube and the Sunworks, and he sponsored Jiffy Lube on our boat, and he put his Sunworks on the Wicks boat. So he had two boats out there competing against each other in the first race. So that kind of made it fun too. Relentless is under power again. That's good to see that they're not getting towed back. Looks like they got it running.
Yeah, they were struggling a little bit there. They got it running a little bit better. Looked like they just got it.
It could have been a Guardian issue with that boat. If they get overheated or something, they'll shut down on them, and they have to wait, let it cool, and then they can go back again. So I doubt we'll see them competing. Maybe they may take it back to the pits, and they may try to run it again. So we'll see. That's one thing with those stock engines. You got all the electronics and stuff on there versus the modified V's with carburetors, and so you can that Guardian will get you.
It does. It can be frustrating. It's there to protect you, and they do kind of roll that back a little bit in the racing configuration, but it certainly it can help save a catastrophic failure.
Lily doesn't look like he's running as hard as he normally is. It's like he's got a little rooster tail as drives up, maybe. Not sure what's going on there. It looks like he might have a little bit of issue.
MCON just moving off the screen. The MTI class coming through as we flip back to the south side of this course. And we'll have MCON. Earlier they turned a lap at about 107. And since then they've been backing it off and keeping it somewhere between 98 and 100. So, I mean, they're in control here. Got the boat running well. No need to break anything. They've been in control all year long, really, in the Super Cat class.
Looks like Lily's okay. He made the turn, so he's going to stay in it.
You know, for fans...
Look at that MCON take that turn. That's a tight turn, man, even in my little boat. And for them to hook it like that that's impressive.
Yeah, they've got that 388 skater running real fine. You know, for fans out there watching here live, Chariots of Fire, we look in on them and running in second in Super Cat. You know, one of the classes that got most affected by COVID was Super Cat.
Super Cat, yeah.
And just because of the sheer amount of money it takes to run these boats, we looked at Sun Brent and then back at LSP, but it's really, you know, they're hoping to sort that out. A lot of the owners in the hospitality industry or the hotel business and unable to campaign their boats this year.
Yeah,
that's why you see the lighter numbers.
Yeah, we're missing Victory, you know, from Dubai. They couldn't get both of those boats here this year. Class 1. We're missing NZ Pro Floors from New Zealand. Those guys, they were the World Championship, 2 years ago. They won that in Key West, and they couldn't even come back to race because of the COVID deal. So, I think they're racing over there a little bit, but they love getting over here to the States and racing with these group of guys.
So we're hoping that as time goes on, some of this sorts itself out. The Class 1 idea, a great idea. They're a little loose there for Sweetwater.
Yeah, boys, you better get that under control. I saw that at Cocoa Beach just before he went over. Vinny likes to air it out, man. Vinny's a competitor.
This is a different course than Cocoa Beach, though.
Yeah, it was
you
a
start
rough.
airing it out at Cocoa Beach, you get yourself in trouble as he did.
We went out a little bit late on our start at that race, and the conditions were it pushed through all the races. It was horrible, and I think we were in the mill, and it was about an 8-foot roller coming in, and it was a monster.
Yeah, about 4 laps to go here for MCON, who continues to lead 13 laps out there in total of 57 or 56 miles here today. There's Chariots of Fire and Sweetwater coming back around. MCON moving off to our left. This is completely different. This is on the west coast of Florida. You get that east coast weather, and you get those big rollers coming into the shore. Those east coast Florida races are rough races. And here, this is known to be a flat track, fast race. And
we've raced here. So Chad and I started racing here. Team Woody, in 2017 was our first race here, and we had the Levy Craft then, and we came in. There were 7 boats in our class. We did the rookie start. We ended up getting second place in that race, and that kind of set the tone for the rest of the year. And it's good to be back here again. We missed it last year, but it's one of the things you always want to go back where you started.
I've been informed by Race World Offshore that we're having some internet connectivity problems, so the Facebook feed is in and out, and we do apologize for that. So we're going to try to do our best to bring you in and out of the race and give you as comprehensive as coverage as we possibly can.
So we're catching up. Sweetwater, who got a little loosey-goosey on the backside, now looks like they got that pretty much back and running pretty sweet. Vinny Diorio and Mike Frevo. Twin 860 horsepower Mercury Racing engines and a 39 Outer Limits catamaran. Billy, Outer Limits known for V-bottoms.
Yeah, those Outer Limits they're beautiful machines. They got beautiful boats. They're fast boats. They had the 43 racing a few years ago. Someone bought that thing up, I believe, upstate, and we were hoping it was coming back to race, but I think they're going to pleasure boat it. But Vinny's an Outer Limits guy. He's had 2 or 3 of them. I think he has a cat coming now, like a 32 or 34 with the outboards on it. And so he had that big 43 before. Vinny had the Outer Limits Crypto, that silver one, for a while. So those guys they're big time outer limits guys.
There's Sheriff Lobo. Earlier we had him running in second place in the Sheriff Lobo in the modified V. Sunprint was your early leader and continuing to run strong.
Graydale, they're sitting in the course in the middle of the course. Looks like they had some issues there. I just saw their boat.
It was good to see them back.
Absolutely.
Saw Billy Moore this morning. The first time I'd seen him. It's because of COVID and everything, and his dad Bobby Moore had passed away. What an icon of powerboat racing his father is, and it was a great loss to the community.
Yeah, you see that boat floater coming by LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness there. Lily is having some problems. He's just trying to finish his laps so he can get his points, or they'd be charging up in the front. Boat floater looks good, man. I'll tell you what, those kill dolls, they don't even talk in the boat. I mean, you watch videos; they're just okay, you know. They're just riding along, having a good day, and it's fun to have teammates that are like that for so long. To watch them versus a new team that it's kind of chaos. Chad and I were like that until this year.
See MCOM coming into the picture, heading into the south turn. So just 3 more laps left to go in Supercat. We're in our final race of the day, the 12th annual Clearwater Hooters Offshore Nationals, presented by Race World Offshore. Live coverage on our Facebook page. We're having some intermittent issues, and with our connectivity, please stand by. Locally, if you're listening, you can hear us terrestrially at AM 820 and FM 96.7 Tampa and FM 98.3
Oh, watch out, Benny. A little bumpy there. I'll tell you what, if I'm going to mention the police escort from the pits at 700 Court Street over to that ramp today. Geez, those guys, it was awesome.
Was it?
You guys in those police cars, if you're listening right now, we appreciate you so much. We're pro police. We love you guys, and we're glad you're here. And today, it's real stressful on race day to get back and forth places, and you made our life real easy today. So thank you very much. Volunteers at the pits doing security, they're great people. Thank you so much. You guys have no idea how much we appreciate that stuff as race teams, because the stress level that you take away from us is priceless.
So we look back in Chariots of Fire. We were watching Sweetwater. That boat's running about as good as it's run all year long. And Chariots of Fire as well. I mean, got a good start early.
He's going off.
And now it looks like just a jinx, I guess, for those guys.
Let me not leave out the fire department and the Coast Guard and the first responders too. You know, same thing. We love you guys. Thanks for helping us out. We're lucky we didn't need any rescues today, I don't think yet. So sorry you didn't get to have some fun.
Well, here comes MCON. You see him on the right side of your screen, taking the wide line, trying to get away from the slower traffic on the inside. He should be getting the white flag here and heading out for his last lap of the day. It's been just another day at the office for Tyler Miller and Myrick Coyle. They're quite a team together in that 388 skater with twin 750 horsepower Sterling engines. There's Sweetwater on the far turn. Following back in here, it looks like Miklos again.
Yeah, and there's Boat Floater again.
Boat Floater again. MCON, 1 lap to go here at the 12th annual Clearwater Hooters Offshore Nationals. MCON.
Boy, Tyler and Myrick are like robots in that thing. I haven't seen it change attitude the entire race. They got that thing set up and just flying around the outside the whole time, you know. Typically, you're trying to get some strategy and move in the course, make your shorten the course up a little bit by running down the middle and then taking the turns tight, but they're just kind of making circles.
So, Billy, next race in the APBA Offshore Series, Fort Myers, Aurora Offshore. Inglewood Beach will wrap up in the OPA season November 18th through the 21st, but you guys are also looking forward to the race into itself, the legendary 40th anniversary Key West Championship race presented by Race World Offshore November 7th through the 14th.
Absolutely. We're going to leave our equipment here. We're taking it all to Mark Neiman's place, Marker 1 Marine there in Sarasota. We keep our Phantom boat there anyway all year, so we're going to leave all of our stuff, and Chad and I are flying home, and then we'll fly back in about a week and a half and head on down to Fort Myers, get set up down there. It's going to be a fun week in Fort Myers. It always is. The Hills are putting together one hell of an event down there, so we're excited to get there. Been
a great season. Been some changes to it from the original schedule, but excellent work by all the race organizations, Race World Offshore, OPA, and P1.
Absolutely.
To pull this thing off together, and then we'll finish up with, 2 different world championships for different classes and different organizations. When it comes to Key West, so that's pretty legendary, isn't it?
It
3
is.
races in a week.
It's been going 40 years down there,
Yeah.
So 3 races, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And, Billy Moff always says to be the best, you got to win in Key West. And that's kind of what everyone else just tags along on that motto down there. And so, we just hope our equipment keeps going all week long. We got a lot of sponsorship out there. Everyone else in the water does too. And you just want to make sure we're being good to them.
Yeah, there's a guy that's had a lot of luck in Key West, Britt Lilly in LSB Hurricane of Awesomeness. It's not been a super year for him, but he's hoping that luck comes back for Key West in the month of November. And IMCON's coming down the main stretch. He'll be finishing up this. I didn't. Did you didn't see?
I didn't see him get the white flag on last lap, so we may have just lost track.
Chariots of Fire still making laps. They're underpowered right now, but they're still running the course. There's a shocker boat coming across, looking good. That's a new team this year, running that boat, and they're doing a really good job. Heck of a job.
May have jumped the gun on that, but obviously IMCON in control. Looks like the Sweetwater boat.
There's Relentless and camera 8.
Yep, there's IMCON there right now. Find out if he goes back out for one more lap.
Looks like the 450's in the middle, so they finished their race. Is that boat floater there with Sweetwater coming down? That thing, Look at the attitude of that V-hull. That thing is moving. They're probably running mid-90s.
Man.
It's fast in a 30-foot boat. Lobo still hanging in there. Good job, man.
They got to be happy with this day.
Yeah, it's a good race. I've been trying to get Mark Neiman to bring his boat back out, but I don't think it's going to happen. The Phantom 9 boat. I love watching him race. Relentless, there they are. They're looking good. Looks like whatever problem they had earlier has solved its problem, and they're back on.
There's IMCON in the middle of the track, so they have finished today, finishing first overall. Another big win for Myra Coyle and Tyler Miller in that 388 skater. IMCON winning today at the 12th annual Clearwater Hooters Offshore Nationals presented by Race World Offshore. So we'll just wait for our modified V's and stock V's to come around for their last laps, sort them out.
Good job to Race World today, too, getting this thing started. Everything started on time. I know that was a big push for them this morning. They were talking about in the meeting and yesterday that they're going to start on time, and we did, and it was a great day.
So it's a lot of work putting on these events. Obviously, there's always things to do better, and they're working on that. But the thing that always, surprises me is the camaraderie amongst all the racers, and it's been that way ever since I started calling these races back in 1981 in Key West. And I thought that it really came together in the 2019 season, and it's continuing on now, even after the loss of most of racing for COVID in 2020.
Yeah, it's impressive to see what happens in these race pits. Yesterday we were testing. We had a bad vibration in our boat, and people that weren't even in our classes were asking us what we needed to fix the boat with. So it comes from all over the place.
Somebody under tow there from Cito.
That looks like 51 Miklos. And they're sponsored by Hooters for this rate. I see the Hooters sticker on the front. So dadgummit, they broke down and they're getting towed back.
He was in the lead. I wonder if that leaves Sheriff Lobo ready to win this thing.
It could.
Get down to the last laps. Speaking of Cito, something important. I mean, they're here on the course, Race World Offshore, providing that support to all the teams.
Yeah, and it's great. We love that. And it's no charge to anyone on this. And Cito, they were in the meeting with us asking us what we need. They're here to support us. It's good to see that. They're getting into this thing too. It's not just about the business. It's about being part of this experience. And I tell everybody all the time, it's not, we race 45 minutes. The experience is the whole week we get to spend here to do this.
Cito did a good job reminding you guys of all the local hazards, too.
They did.
Yeah, the rocks and the grass flats.
Yep, he pointed all that out in the meeting to us. The first year we were here, or second year, we had this new special magic prop on the Levy craft, and we tested with it on Saturday, and it was fantastic. And then we went out Sunday to race, and we backed off the trailer and hit a concrete block and bent the ear. So it's good for them to remind us that stuff is there.
Sheriff Lobo, great day for Mark Neiman, Shamu Muhammad, 29 Extreme Chevy-powered Modified V. Going back.
Looked like the firm was up and running again, too, after he took that hard turn there. That spinning is scary. It's scary when you get out of a spin like that, too. They're continuing to go. What's going on here?
Well, we must be getting down to the last lap.
Yeah, they're having fun.
So these are a great class, fun class to watch. It's a class that you see Vinny Diorio in the center along with Imcon. They've wrapped up today along with the MTI Mercury 450 powered class to the center of the field, getting their checkered flags from Chief Referee Richie Nansizin. So we're really going to be keen to watch these modified boats as they come back around for their last laps and find out who our winners are here today. There's the firm, yeah.
He's running hard.
Looking good.
Get him some good photos there from that helicopter. Jeff Girardi's in the bird today, shooting some good pictures for us.
Again, this class, one of the stock class has the sealed Mercury engine in it. The stock guys, they build their engines up, make them a little more powerful. Boats are very similar, pretty much the same.
They are. Yeah, the boats are pretty similar. Different makes. You got Phantoms and Rage, and you got the Extremes out there. But the engines, the sealed Mercury stock Vs are pretty much, they're the same. And then the modified Vs, they have certain cam selection, certain springs, certain compression, certain RPM. So they're pretty heavily spec'd. And so most of those engines are really, really close. And it comes down to your hull, your prop selection, and just the skill in the boat with the driver and the throttle man. And it's, a lot of times I hear who's the driver, and I'm the driver. And, I just want to point out that throttle man, in my opinion, is more important than me turning that wheel, because there's a lot more going on his side of the boat.
Yeah, especially you get into tough situations where the boat's flying.
Yeah.
A lot of trouble can happen. I
mean, they're watching the gauges, they're doing the trim tabs, they're doing the throttle. And when we get close to turns, they might be looking at that buoy. They don't know what's there. So as a driver, you got to say, we're coming on the turn, and then they can do their thing. But there's a lot of stuff going on their side of the boat, and I just want to put it out there that the throttle guy in this business is just as important or more important than that driver.
All right, we're going to try and really watch
that's Shocker there.
The pace boat, watch for the checkered flag, see who gets our first place finishes in Modified V, Stock V here as we wrap up racing today in the 12th Annual Clearwater Hooters Offshore Nationals, presented by Race World Offshore.
It's a new team in this boat, Chris and Patrick, and they're doing a really, really good job getting used to this thing.
Really have it running nice here late in the day. About a half dozen boats still out on the course. Just maybe a little Miklos. What a sad story that is. We watch him under tow.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it's hot out there, too. These boats are working. I mean, like I said earlier, they're running full speed, so they're taxing the equipment in there, all of it.
All right, we just had the checkered flag pulled out. That's Sheriff Lobo.
Mm-hmm.
Sheriff Lobo going to win here today unofficially in the Modified V class. Big day for them.
Yeah, that's a great race.
Mark Neiman, Shamu Muhammad from Trinidad, Chevy powered.
I'm assuming the Shocker boat took the Stock V class there with the win unofficially. I could be wrong, but here comes Relentless across there. So,
well, we'll watch the
LSB was limping around, so he's probably going to come in. I think he's just getting those laps in to get them points. It's close in theirs. They have a big purse going on their classes as well, so it's all about the points right now.
So it looks like was it Relentless or Recovery that you think was in the lead?
I saw Shocker go across first. Now Relentless is going across, and I could be wrong, but that's what I'm seeing.
So
from
Shocker.
Shocker. Mm-hmm.
We'll watch here. Watch the pace boat.
And there's LSB, and then the Firm. It looks like coming up. The Firm might get around him before the finish line here because he's running full power. He's gonna get past him.
Yep, going to move to the inside. Had that little dicey moment in the south turn. Got it back together, though.
Lily's pushing it. He's like he's running pretty fast, but he knows they're coming. I'm sure his spotter's telling him. So
And he comes by.
He's going to get him, yeah, unless he's doing an extra lap.
And that can happen.
Yeah.
These boats they'll have to make weight coming out.
That's right. Yep, they weigh them on the crane and make sure that they're within their spec limit. I forget, it's different, that boat there has a little bit different weight, I believe, because it has fewer or more steps on it. There's different rules on the weight on these guys.
Yeah, while we have a moment, let's revisit the bracketed racing from early today. And again, all of these results here today are unofficial, but you guys were racing in bracket 2. We won't know. Certainly in the bracketed class, Tech would go in and get your V boxes and make sure no one broke out. But in bracket 2, the developer Wix Filters unofficially took first. You guys took second place.
Yeah, real quick on that one. I've been wanting to race that Wix boat for years and years. And, we finally got the fountain so we could race them, and then those guys just didn't race it anymore for a little bit. And I'm glad they're here. Scott and Eddie are fun. It's fun to have that thing on the course. I wish JP was here, but he's not. So we'll see him maybe soon.
Rolling Dirty Offshore ran unopposed in the bracket 3 class. Clyde Petty with a nice win in the Phantom hole. Bracket 4, unofficially Cigarette Justice League, Predator, and GNS. Again,
which is a velocity hole.
Velocity hole.
That's right.
You got me on that. I wrote Warlock down.
Yeah, they're Velocity Texas guys.
And that's a big day for them. They're very happy about winning. Little Bill Reeves and Grant Graytalk.
Yes, sir. They've been fighting some good ones, too, and they finally got it figured out, it looks like. The boat was looking good out there.
And, again, these results all unofficial. They were bracketed at 85 miles an hour. Bracket 3 was 85 as well. Bracket 3 was 85. Bracket 5, Shoreline unofficially first, Bulletproof second, and Team Woody in third place. That's 75 miles per hour. But Shoreline gets the win today, and Brent Paris and Joe Riley in a Phantom hull.
That's been a great race all year. Bulletproof was dealing with some issues early on. They've got that boat running good again. It looks like they fixed it, but that battle between Shoreline and that Team Woody 509 and 527 boats has been the race to watch this season. They're we're probably within 10 points now for national.
And that was a 75 mile an hour bracket. And then bracket 6 today, Team Gerard unofficially took first place. Mark Conrad and Chase Gerard in a Corsa hull, and second went to Southern Harbor Services. And the jackhammer ran unopposed in Class 7. These are all unofficial, of course. Again, we'll say it again. You got the V-box has to be read. You can't break out, and that'll get all sorted out later tonight at the awards ceremony. They'll make them more official. And it looks like in terms of this race here today in Super Cat class, it was IMCON. Tyler Miller and Myrick Coyle took the win in that 388 Skater with 750 horsepower Stirling engines. Chariots of Fire second. Gradell had some trouble early and did not finish the race. In 860 SV Offshore Sweetwater, big day for them. They ran that boat very nicely with the twin 860 horsepower Mercury package. Simon Prevost and Vinny DiOrio. That boat looked as good as it looked.
It did. Looked real good. It looked like he was trying to figure some things out in there. He was trimming it up, trimming it down. You could see where he was running flat, and then he was getting loose in it. So, this is a good place, like I said, to learn and figure the boat out. And they're ahead in that 860. They got the 860 motors. So, if Rumor Mill has it right, them Super Cats may be running those 860s, and Vinny and them are going to have a couple of years advantage on them. So,
the MTI class, the 39 MTI with the 450R, they ran unopposed with Taylor Sissom and Johnny Tomlinson. Ran that real nice. Nice to see Johnny Tomlinson, of course, with Randy Sissom's daughter. But Randy and Johnny go way back, and good to see John Tomlinson. Hope to see him at more races moving forward.
Speaking of legends, he's been racing so long, and he, like I said, he's done everything, won everything, and so you couldn't ask for a better instructor for Taylor. She's learning it from the best. And he talks to her the whole time. I was talking to her one night about it up in Michigan City, and she's like, I'm just soaking it up. So,
Sheriff Lobo, your winner today in Modified V here in this last race of the day. Chevy-powered 29 Extreme. Big day for Shamu Muhammad, Mark Neiman. A long time coming for them. They've been wanting this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good team there. Mark, they get along real good in the boat. And it's good to have Mark on the course, too.
And unofficially in Stock V.
There he is.
Yep, there he is. Beautiful boat from Trinidad.
Shamu got out. He said, Mark, you drive the boat. I'm going to go get the flag.
That's right. And there's Shocker. Shocker, your Stock V champion, Chris Colson and Patrick Romero, a Phantom hull. And the Stock V class taking that checkered flag on the deck and enjoying the victory here today.
I believe that Shocker is the old Done Deal boat. And I believe Relentless is possibly I just went blank. I don't know why. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. It's just part of the coverage here today. Occasionally things
I can't remember
go
what that was, but those are both boats that have been racing for years, Phantoms, and they're doing a really good job with them.
Well, Billy, we appreciate you stopping in and chatting with us at Team Woody. This is kind of a prelude for Race World Offshore, and we'll be seeing you in Key West the week of November 7th through the 14th for the RWO Key West World Championships, the 40th anniversary event.
I can't wait. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it and look forward to seeing you down there in Key West. Great job, and great seeing you and the rest of the teams here in Clearwater. Just again to recap for you, IMCON here in the second race, really having a strong day. They show up well in the APBA National Series. Probably, JW, the biggest news of the day was our second race, because in the Superstock class, another big race with APBA UIM implications, certainly in the National Series, and it played out exactly the way CMR Racing wanted to. But first, let's talk about the team that led from start to finish, and that was CR Racing X Insurance, Rob Understall, Casey Boaz. They had that Doug Wright hooked up and with the twin 300 XSs, and
they were just dialed in. I mean,
they took the checkered flag.
Watched them all day, running flat, very little, rocking back and forth, very little chine walking. They were just running flat and hard. They had carried their speed through the turns, and it was just. It almost looked like there was no competition. I know that Sean Torrente was trying hard to catch up to him, and you could just tell down the straightaways that he was, just pushing that boat as hard as he could. But they just had it dialed in CR Racing.
Yeah, Torrente and CMR Roofing, along with Eric Belisle, I mean, they knew where they wanted to be, and that was in front of Performance Boat Center. They end up taking the second place points here today in CMR. And Performance Boat Center Fast Diesel Fuel Systems takes third. And in the national points race, that gives CMR just a slight lead over Performance Boat Center, who's been the most reliable boat all year long. Rusty Williams and Myra Coyle, all three of the boats that finished in the top three were Doug Wright hulls. And there'll be one more race to determine that APBA National Offshore Series, and that's going to be October 7th through the 9th, Aurora Offshore in Fort Myers Beach. And then for us,
all bets are off, man. They're coming down. They're racing 3 days for the World Championship.
That's right. Next for us will be Key West the week of November 7th through the 14th. And, of course, it's the place in the world to watch offshore racing. It's a worldwide gathering. It'll be the 40th anniversary event. There isn't any place like Key West to watch racing from the VIP area out on the Truman Annex Outer Mole, which is a multi-million-dollar renovation project in the city of Key West. Beautiful area to have the dry pits right there where the wet pits and the cranes are, and then the spectator viewing area, as well as all the hotels that line Key West Harbor, the historic event. And you can find out all the information about the Key West Championships, the 40th annual, presented by Race World Offshore at raceworldoffshore.com. We want to thank everybody involved, Frank Chevis here in Clearwater, the organizer, restaurateur, for just doing a great job. This, I guess, will culminate JW 5 o'clock with the awards ceremony.
Yeah, and thanks a lot to Carlos and Joe, our film and switching team.
Yes. Doing
a great job on the audio and the visual.
And we worked through our problems here today. It's a work in progress. We will continue to strive to do better, just as we always do. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for giving us your time today and enjoying offshore powerboat racing here with us at the Race World Offshore Facebook page and live here in the Tampa Bay area at AM 820, FM 96.7 Tampa, and FM 98.3 Pinellas County. And it's the conclusion of our broadcast, the 12th annual Clearwater Hooters Offshore Nationals by Race World Offshore. We'll sign off for now, and here locally on the radio, we will send it back to CBS Sports Radio. So.